watching SportsBeat.
Thanks for watching SportsBeat tonight. Jeremiah Jensen, Sam Farnsworth. The next half hour features a conversation with BYU quarterback Zach Wilson, the best of BYU Media Day, and a breakdown of what the Jazz did in Thursday's NBA draft.
Yeah, but we begin with the biggest story of the week. The Utah Jazz, they tried to get Memphis point guard Mike Conley this past season at the trade deadline. They never gave up on their pursuit, and on Wednesday, finally closed that deal.
Yeah, it is done. It will officially become done on July 6th. Mike Conley is coming to Utah. The Jazz sent Jay Crowder, Kyle Korver, Grayson Allen, and 2 first-round picks, including the number 23 pick in Thursday's draft. So what are the Jazz getting in Mike Conley? Why was this deal worth it? Why were they trying so hard to make it happen? Well, he's one of the top 10 point guards in the world and one of the top 30 players in the NBA. A 13-year veteran known for his grit and toughness. He's a two-way player. He averaged 21 points and 6.4 assists per game last year. Those are the best numbers of his career. He can score at all 3 levels, a 38% career three-point shooter. He's also a terrific mid-range shooter, and his floater at the rim with the right or left hand is one of the most effective in NBA history. He's one of the best pick-and-roll point guards in the league. In the 81st percentile last year in pick-and-roll efficiency. And who runs the pick-and-roll more than anyone in the NBA? Well, that's the Utah Jazz. So imagine Conley running pick-and-roll with Rudy Gobert. Now, can he play with Donovan Mitchell? Absolutely. If you want the ball in Donovan's hands, Mike is terrific off the ball. He shot 40% on catch-and-shoot threes last season.
Seems like the perfect fit for that situation. Not the first time recently the Jazz have traded for a point guard, though. In 2016, the Jazz sent the draft rights of Taurean Prince, who was selected 12th overall, to the Hawks in a 3-team trade that brought point guard George Hill to Utah. Hill played just 49 games with the Jazz due to injuries, but he posted a career-high 16.9 points per game while shooting 40% from three-point range. After that season, he did leave Utah for the Kings.
And, of course, the Jazz sent a first-round pick to the Timberwolves on June 30th, 2017 to acquire Ricky Rubio. Ricky played 2 seasons with the Jazz, helped them win a playoff series against the Thunder in his first year. He was also great in the community, off the court, doing so many great things, including his work at the Huntsman Cancer Institute. Ricky will now search for a new team as an unrestricted free agent, and I know a lot of fans are going to miss Ricky.
Well, this may be the greatest Jazz trade of all time, at least in my books, right? Just before the trade deadline in 1994, the Jazz sent Jeff Malone to Philadelphia, along with the 20th pick in the draft for Jeff Hornacek, Sean Green, and a second-round pick. Of course, Hornacek and the Jazz would go on to a pair of finals appearances, and Hornacek's jersey would later be retired by the Jazz.
Well, the Jazz hope the Mike Conley trade can top the Hornacek trade as the greatest in franchise history. And speaking of trades, after sending their first-round pick to the Grizzlies, we didn't expect much from the Jazz on draft night.
Yeah, they sure woke up, right? They were pretty quiet until late in the second round when the Jazz made 2 trades and came away with 3 second-round picks.
It began with a trade with the Indiana Pacers for the number 50 pick, where the Jazz selected Jarrell Brantley of the College of Charleston. He stood out in the Jazz final pre-draft workout, a 6'7", 255-pound power forward, a 7'1" wingspan. He averaged 19 points and 8 rebounds as a senior and shot 35% from the 3 in college.
Today he's a gym rat.
With the 53rd pick in the 2019 NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Justin Wright Foreman from Hofstra University.
Yeah, Justin Wright Foreman, a 6'2" point guard of Hofstra. He was the Colonial Athletic Association Player of the Year and an honorable mention All-American. Was second in the nation in scoring, averaging 27 points per game. Shot 51% from the field, 43% from three-point range, and 86% from the stripe. He posted a video of his reaction to getting drafted on his Instagram page.
We're going to Utah! Let it out, bro.
I don't believe
you got it. You did it. You worked for this.
A dream is now a reality. An emotional reaction when his name was called in Brooklyn. The family's going crazy. He was able to celebrate that moment with family and friends.
With the 58th pick in the 2019 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select Miye Oni from Yale University.
Yeah, the Jazz weren't done. They make a trade with the Warriors for the number 58 pick and select Miye Oni of Yale. The 6'6" junior guard was the Ivy League Player of the Year, averaged 17 points per game, a 37% three-point shooter, and as you can see, also very athletic. He knows how to finish at the rim. Here is Jazz GM Justin Zanuck on the Jazz draft.
there is a saying, like, if you go play in college and you're good enough, the NBA will find you. And these guys were all known commodities. They've all had very successful careers, so it wasn't something that they just came on the radar, maybe on a public level or a media level, but from a scouting level, we've known about these guys for a while. With our roster, and again, we'll continue to be aggressive, it's open. There's a chance that we open a lot of roster spots. So what we tell our guys is come compete. We'll have a developmental path for you. That could be any number of ways. That could be on the roster. It could be, part of the G League, two-way. Any of those things could be on the table. Just let's get you in here. Let's get our coaching staff around you, and let's have a good summer and play. And then we'll work with them after that to kind of figure out the best developmental path.
All right, now to football. The start of the college football season just 67 days away. Who's counting?
Yeah, we are.
And yes, we are. It can't come soon enough. What better way to start the season than with one of the best rivalries in college football, BYU versus Utah.
Oh, amazing. Can't wait. The rivalry game was a popular topic this week at BYU Media Days. The Cougars are focused on ending that 8-game losing streak to the Utes.
That's going to be a tough task because this is arguably the best Utah team ever.
Straight up, they've had it on us the past 7 years, and we're sick of it.
I'm sick of it. I think our team is sick of it. Our coaches are sick of it.
We want to get to that game.
It means more to me. I take it personal.
It's one of the best rivalries in college football.
It's tooth and claw. It's the Utah-BYU game. It's a fight to the finish. And
we have a bitter taste in our mouth from that loss.
We were left with that bad taste for the entire year.
I've been thinking about it ever since the game. I just felt like I give them a lot of credit for coming back, but I also feel like there's a part of the game that we left out there.
Like everybody knows we should have won that game. Everyone knows we can beat those guys. And so I think guys are buying in, and they don't want that to happen again. I mean, my 4 years here, I don't want to be like the last guys who were here for 4 years that never beat those guys. So, I want to get 3 straight. I mean, Utah acts like it's no big deal, but I know that they prepare for this game and they approach it like it's, something bigger than it is. And
beat Utah.
Beat Utah.
Beat Utah.
Utah in 3.
Yeah, I mean, now since I've played in 7 games, it's just like I have a confidence that I built up over that amount of time.
I sit down with BYU quarterback Zach Wilson next. The next step he needs to take as a quarterback, his injury rehab, and of course his history with the Utes.
Welcome back to SportsBeat. We watched Zach Wilson start at Corner Canyon High School, and we knew he was good, but he surprised everyone but himself last year as a freshman at the Y.
Yeah, he was terrific. Impressive in 7 starts, including a perfect 18 for 18 passing in the bowl win over Western Michigan. How does he plan to top that as a sophomore? I had a chance to sit down with Zach at BYU Media Day.
What's it been like? Because, like I said, this hasn't been that long. You were out there on the high school football field not long ago.
It's like big-time high school football. I feel like we moved to Texas or something. It's like all of a sudden, you have all this hype around the program, and you're playing against these big teams. And, it's weird being a kid and you're watching these teams play on ESPN or whatever it is. You're watching Tennessee and Utah and BYU and all these teams, and now all of a sudden you're playing against these teams. And so it's just it's a huge shock to you. It's just wow, something I never thought would ever happen, and you see on TV, you're now part of.
So how are you able to kind of take that feeling, but then turn around and have the confidence that you belong here?
Yeah, I mean, now since I've played in 7 games, it's just I have a confidence that I built up over that amount of time. It's just okay, well, I can do this. I've played, I know what it's about, I know what it's like. I still have so much I can learn, but I know that it's something I can fulfill for sure. So I'm just excited to go into this next year with, the ability to take that next step.
What is the next step for you? What do you want to accomplish next?
I just want to be able to take more control of the offense and bring my guys along with me and just be that leader on the team that guys can look up to and know that they, that I'll always have their back no matter what it is. And I want to be the person that can lead this team to, having a dominant year, especially offensively, and kill some of the best opponents we're going to play against this year.
Do you embrace the expectations and the pressure, or do you block it out?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I expect a lot out of myself. I really don't care what other people think. I don't listen to what other people think, their expectations, any of that stuff. It's kind of just what I expect out of myself. I expect myself to, to be able to come back from this and not only be back to how I was, but be a lot better than what I was. And almost be like I never had a surgery, just going from a freshman to a sophomore year and making that big transition and being able to be a dominant quarterback this year.
How is your rehab going? How's the shoulder?
Yeah, so it's been really well. I just started throwing in the beginning of June, and you know, so it's only been 18 days or whatever it is, but I would say for having another month and a half until fall camp, I've had amazing progress, and you know, it's one of those things. It's like, shoot, I got to hurry up. The season's coming. I got to go, and I still got time. And so for just the first 18 days, it's been a quick recovery.
You kind of thrown in the fire last year. Was there a one point or one moment last year where it kind of clicked and you're like, you know what, I belong here?
I mean, a lot of that started for me just when I wasn't even playing. I mean, there was moments watching film, I'm like, well, I knew that. I could have done that. I mean, of course, everyone says that. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in, but I really just had that confidence and believe in myself that I could go out there and do something. So once I got the opportunity to, is just, you know, you got to keep a level head and go out there, you know, block out the noise, whatever it is, and just make sure you get it done.
My goodness, the schedule, that's what you dream of, right? A chance to go to Tennessee, a chance to play USC. How excited are you for the opportunity now as a starting quarterback to face these Power 5 programs?
Oh, I'm so excited. I just want to stay healthy throughout this year, you know, getting smarter with my body and being able to know when to take a hit, know when not to. You know I need to get healthy first, but I'm just so excited for the schedule because I know so many teams dream of playing against these big teams, and not only these big teams, but teams from all around the country. And you know, most people play in a conference, and luckily for us, we get to mix it up and play against some cool opponents.
You said you're going to be a little more careful. You're still going to be jumping over some guys, right?
I don't know if I should ever do that again. I get a lot of crap for it from the coaches sometimes.
But the fans love it.
Yeah, the fans love it.
The media loves it.
The fans love it.
What's it like for you going from year one to year two, the growth that you've been able to make personally as you prepare for this next season, knowing that you are the starting quarterback at BYU?
I mean, physically, quarterbacks can, you know, all throw a ball. I mean, when you look at the college level, a lot of people can throw the ball. It's the mental game that people lack. It's, you know, the ability to play under pressure and that kind of situation. And so I want to take my game to a whole nother level mentally. And because I can't do anything physically, I've made a stand for myself that I really want to approach that like 2 times more than I would have ever done it before, and just make sure I'm always on the film and make sure I'm always learning and trying to grow my mental game.
So you've been doing your homework?
I have been.
What are some of those things? Because the fans don't see that.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're doing behind the scenes. What are you doing behind the scenes mentally to become a better quarterback?
Yeah, I'm just watching, you know, tons of pro guys. Some of my favorite guys like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. I watch some of the Jared Goff stuff because he's a young quarterback as well. And I don't want to pick up the stuff that comes when you become a vet, stuff that becomes when you're an NFL guy, but just, you know, how they work inside the pocket. A lot of the route combinations are the same kind of thing, and I love to see, you know, what things they're throwing against certain kind of defenses, how they're manipulating defenders, their pocket presence, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, of course, watching tons of Utah film, just going back and trying to find those tiny details that maybe didn't stand out to me the first time I prepared for only a week. And, you know, I better have the whole thing learned and down by the time we play them this next time. And so just a little bit of everything.
There's a dynamic with you, with your family history at Utah, wanting to go there, not getting offered. How does that play into the rivalry experience for you, having been on that side and now being on this side? What's it like for your family?
Yeah, I mean, there's no hate to our family, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of just more, I look at it as like it was Utah's loss. I mean, it was a good decision through BYU, and I hope to, you know, take full advantage of this opportunity that BYU's given me. I know that not a lot of kids get this opportunity to come play at the college level, and so if someone's willing to take a chance on me, I'll give them everything I have. And so I just look at it like, you know, we're gonna make Utah kind of pay, and not necessarily because of that reason that they didn't recruit me, but just because I'm on this side of the ball now.
Year 2 will be fun. All right, we're going to push pause here, but when we come back, Tom Hackett, he's challenged to a dance competition on the golf course. It's next on the hallowed grounds.
Tom Hackett has gone golfing this summer with some big names in sports: Kyle Whittingham, Larry Kraskowiak, and Jay Hill. But he's never faced a challenge like he did this week.
Yeah, no kidding. We paired him up with 11-year-old golf celebrity. He didn't out-golf Tom, but he out-danced him. Here's the latest edition of the hallowed grounds.
The hallowed grounds, brought to you by Siegfried & Jensen.
As always, arrived here in my Nate Wade Subaru. We're here at the Par 5 10th Willow Creek Country Club, and special guest this week is Mr. Warren Fisher, famous for the Warren Report. Find it on YouTube. You can also find it on fairwaysmag.com. I'm sure there's a number of other places. He's talked with Ferretti. I mean, you name it, he's done it. So we're going to get some good info today. Warren, here's how today works, okay? So we're going to play the par 5 10th.
All right.
For this $100 gift card to You Into Golf.
I like it.
If you win, you can decide whether or not you want to go closest to the pin for the Bushnell rangefinder, valued at $500. I've played with some big guests so far.
All right.
And I'm as nervous as I've ever been, so I'll stop talking. Let's play some golf.
All right.
Oh, I'm up the left.
Oh. I have a pretty good chance so far.
Oh, you're hook and Magoo left too. So, Ferretti?
Yeah.
How did that all come about?
He's always kind of been my role. He's always been my role model.
Pretty low bar, kid.
On my Instagram, they took a picture and then he sent the picture back to me. So he pulled out the picture and then he had it on his phone and then he was pointing at it just like I was. And so it was actually really cool. Oh, that bee was on that ball.
Did you see that bee?
You obliterated that bee. Finally, he's going for the most vicious prey on the entire golf course, the golf ball. He's got to do one thing, put it on the green.
Are you driving now?
Yeah.
You're just taking over the wheel?
Mm-hmm.
If you interviewed Tiger Woods, though, what would you ask him?
What was the point of losing all of it just because you were addicted?
Oh, wow. That's got to come down.
Come on,
So I just three-putted. Oh, my word. So this is to tie? Oh, baby, Warren. Oh!
Dang it!
We are going to now go play the par 3 11th. Because Warren claims he can dance. In fact, I've seen you dance on camera. Well, that's actually really good.
Oh, dang it, now I'm all wet.
If I did that, I think my body would snap in half like a toothpick.
Try
You want me
it,
to try that?
Try it.
Why did you make me do that? Okay, just for being generous enough to come down to Willow Creek, here's a $100 gift card to You Into Golf. Spend it wisely. Do you know what you're going to buy with it?
I have no clue, but...
Okay, well, you better start thinking. And then lastly, where can people find the Warren Report?
You can go to fairwaysmag.com, or you could just go to YouTube, search up Utah Golf Warren Report.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks.
You're the man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Warren is a character, and you ought to go watch his videos. They're pretty entertaining. He also does stand-up comedy, by the way, so very talented kid. All right, it's never too early to talk about football. We had fun doing so at BYU Media Day this week.
Yeah, here's a look back at some of the entertaining responses to questions from BYU players and coaches.
I like the fanny pack thing going on there.
Hey, I appreciate it.
What you keeping in there?
Well, I got all the things I need. I got my wallet, got my extra phone charger, I got my keys, everything I need. Got some gum in there too, because you never know. You never know. I'm like, you know what? I feel like some bubble gum right now. You never know.
You're prepared.
Exactly, I'm prepared for everything.
Right here in the front. Who's that?
Oh shoot, that's me.
How cool is that?
I'm looking kind of swole. I gotta lean down a little bit.
I think this has been the most controversial topic of the day.
Which
here
one?
At BYU Media Day. Who's the fastest player on the team? Because I got a lot of guys telling me they are.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ask the guys who ran the fastest in the 40?
Last time they ran 40s, I was hurt with my shoulder.
They didn't answer that question?
Apparently they didn't. Who was that?
I ran the fastest 40, yeah, 4.42.
We're gonna have a race?
We might have to.
We gotta decide this once and for all. I wouldn't call it a fanny pack. I'd call it an emergency preparedness kit.
Exactly, like a utility kit.
I like that too. We in the media, we're not that bad, right?
Oh, you guys are nice. Sometimes coaches can get a little hectic. Just kidding, but no, it's fun.
We've got to make this race happen.
Oh, got to.
We got to settle this once and for all.
I can't believe people are just like actually just saying that they're the fastest when we just ran them.
The NBA draft's come and gone. We take a look at the history of picks for the Jazz, and a great moment in sports history up next. One of the great greatest upsets in sports history happened on this day 35 years ago. Daniel LaRusso used the crane kick to defeat Johnny Lawrence of Cobra Kai to win the under-18 All-Valley Karate Tournament. Johnny would sweep the leg, but it wasn't enough to deny LaRusso his title. It was also a remarkable comeback story. Daniel miraculously overcame a serious injury in a previous match just to compete in the championship.
Great moment. Well, there's a lot of great moments in Jazz draft history.
You know what? I'm being told by our producer that wasn't a real karate competition. That was a movie called The Karate Kid. I apologize for the error.
I'm disappointed. Well, you know what? We're going to take a look back at some of the great Jazz draft history moments, and that's what we'll leave you with tonight.
The Utah Jazz is very proud to select Darrell Griffith, 6'4".
He thought that Shays would play in the league for 10 years.